Hello, welcome to another video. Today, as you can tell from the title, I'm bringing you my January TBR. I feel like I haven't done a TBR in like a year or so because I haven't, or at least a monthly one anyway. I've done like TBRs for readathons, but not monthly ones. And if you saw my goals video, then you'll know that I'm gonna bring back doing TBRs, but maybe not really stick to them, just for a bit of structure, but not a forced structure that I have to stick to, and especially with my 2 books a week goal that I'm gonna try and do, but again, not too much pressure because I only really want to do 70 books in the year, not the 104, etc. Everything I explained in that video is kind of why I'm bringing back sort of TBRs. So, without too much rambling, let's just get on with it, shall we? The first book on my January TBR is Dreams of Gods and Monsters by Laini Taylor. I'm actually about halfway through this and have been reading it for ages, but I think I'm scared of it ending because I don't want it to end because the series has been so incredibly amazing and I'm so close to it being over and I don't want it to be over, but I'm also really scared to see what's going to happen to these characters and how things are going to wrap up for them, but it must be done, and I think January needs to be the month that it's done because I'm halfway there, so let's just get it done, close the chapter, close the series, and see how this one ends, and break my little heart in the process. But yes, very much looking forward to this. As I said, last one in this series, but this follows Karoo, or at least let's start from the beginning because I don't want to spoil anything. It follows Karoo, who comes from a different world, and there is an interspecies war happening that she is a little bit involved in, and there's a lot of magic, fantastic writing, completely compelling characters, and if you haven't read this series, I just really recommend that you do. Number 2 for January is Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. I started this a few months ago and then stopped and put it down, kind of got hit by a slump, a readathon happened, I just never got to it, so I'm gonna start a clean slate with this one, start from the beginning, start over, and get on with this. I follow Susan Dennard on Twitter, and I had never read any of her works before, but she just seems like such a lovely person, and I love seeing how passionate she is about this, and through her retweets and likes, how passionate the fandom is about the Witchlands, and I just want to be a part of that. It just seems so cool. This is about a girl called Sophia who is a truth witch, and truth witches are very rare and very valuable, so she can't let people know what she is, but essentially she can tell when someone is telling the truth and when someone is lying, which, as you can probably imagine, would be very valuable in a government situation and dangerous as well. So looking forward to actually getting on and reading this one, hopefully in January. Next up is one that I should have read in December, and that is Explorers on Witch Mountain by Alex Bell. This is the sequel to the Polar Bears Explorers Club, which I read last year and loved. It was one of the first polar fantasies I read. It paved the way for me in terms of my love of polar fantasy, and I cannot wait to read this. I don't know why I haven't gone to it already. I've got my bookmark in at chapter 1 ready to start. I'm so eager for this. It's going to be so good. Also, it's a middle grade, so it should be pretty quick as well. But this follows Stella, Stella Starflake Pearl, who is the adopted daughter of this Arctic explorer, but it's not any old Arctic, it's the magic Arctic. They have a pet polar bear, there are fairies around, and there's ice dragons and all sorts, and in the first one, Stella gets to go on her very first expedition, and this carries on from where that one left off, and I'm very, very excited. Next up, we have Wake of Vultures by Lila Bowen. This is the Quarterly Club's pick for the winter quarter. Our live stream, I believe, is on the 26th of January, so the latter part of this month, and I've got to read it for that. I don't know too much about this other than there is a girl who kills someone and watches them turn into sand, and that's where all of the desert comes from, or something like that. Also, the cover just really speaks to me, probably because there's a feather and it's literally got the name of a bird on it, and we all know how I feel about birds on covers. So I'm looking forward to this one, and I'm looking forward to the live stream with all of my favourite people. Next up is one that I got for Christmas that I had actually not heard of before, and that is Give the Dark My Love by Beth Revis. I don't know too much about this other than what's on the back. I saw death itself. It was a feral thing made of smoke and shadow. It was hollow and empty and hungry. And the cover, for some reason, speaks to me, and it's really floppy. But I'm really looking forward to this. For some reason, it's really calling to me at the minute. So whilst that's happening, I want to get on it and read it. And as I say, I've not heard of it before. I've not heard anyone talk about it at all. So interesting to see something so low on the radar end up on my shelves, and I'll be sure to let you know how it goes. And then I'm also finally hoping to get to Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I got the whole series for Christmas, so I've got everything else sitting on my TBR, waiting to be read eventually, but it all starts with this one. So hopefully January can be the month that I finally get my teeth into the Lunar Chronicles. I'm very, very excited. I feel like everyone knows what this is about. It's a Cinderella retelling where Cinderella is a cyborg, and I'm pretty sure things happen on the moon, but yep, there we go. I'm looking forward to this a lot. I then also would like to get to Giant Days Volume 5. I read Volume 4 in December and would like to continue on with that series, so hopefully Volume 5 can be achieved in January as well. I really enjoy this series. It's about these 3 girls at university. It's a contemporary, but I am really enjoying it. It's really non-committal and fun, and I hope to get to Volume 5 of that. And then finally, I would love to get to Volume 2 of Misfit City. I read the first one of this ages ago, and because I couldn't get hold of the second one, like I never found it in Waterstones, I never got it, but I've kind of started reading comics on my Kindle a lot more now, or my Kindle app on my iPad, which is so much cheaper and just more convenient, and I can get hold of Volume 2 on there, so I'm hoping to do that and finally progress with that story. Essentially, it's like a Goonies retelling, but with an all-female cast, so there we go. And that is my January TBR. That's a lot of books for 1 month, but as I said, 2 books a week averages out at about 8 books in a month. We'll see how I go with that, but that's the list of books I'm hoping to read. We'll see how it goes. I'll be sure to check back in with you. And of course I am going to be vlogging as well. My vlogs should be going up on Mondays, so you might see my progress throughout the month in my vlogs if you watch those. I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you're setting up for a fantastic reading year. It's always nice to be fresh at the beginning, isn't it? And just cracking on, so fingers crossed for this TBR, fingers crossed for your TBR. If you want to chat to me about any of these books, if you've read anything, have anything you want to let me know, do so down below, but keep it spoiler free. If you've enjoyed this video, feel free to give us a thumbs up, and if you aren't subscribed but fancy subscribing, I'm always eternally grateful for that, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!